Yeah. Too bad they don't ever use it ever again.
They tease. I hate when they tease theme songs
Yeah, and then they don't
and
use
they
the whole
don't use
thing.
the whole thing. Same thing with the fucking. Remember the X-Men teaser and the Doctor Strange?
How long did we wait for a movie to actually do the X-Men theme song from the cartoon series?
And they only did the.
That's the only part. That's the only part.
Super Media Runners!
Welcome to Super Media Runners. I'm Jared.
I'm John.
And we run the media to you. Should probably say that at the beginning, but that's fine. So today we are going to talk about our movie pitch for a rebooted Superman. Now that this whole DC stuff is rebooting, especially with the after Blue Beetle's coming out this week. So
Let's reboot Superman.
And Superman's not going to come out till 2025, 2026.
If the strike goes
probably
on, probably longer.
Probably delayed even longer. So.
In Pitch Runners, we will go over cast, plot summary, and our whole movie pitch using Dan Harmon's story circle through the main character's journey. But before we take that journey, we must consult the studio deck. We pick one card and must do what the card says during the presentation of our idea.
Are you familiar with the comic book Superman Birthright?
I am not. Please enlighten me.
Of course. So Superman Birthright. What's crazy about that is Man of Steel. So David S. Goyer is the screenwriter for Man of Steel. He grabbed some parts of Superman Birthright and put it into Man of Steel as we know it. You wouldn't know that because if you read the comics, you'd know they're two very, very different approaches to how they handle Superman. So how I wanted to handle Superman, and we're basically going to do a Superman Birthright adaptation. Before that, I'm going to do a brief plot summary and casting. So Superman, we figured, is going to be played by Tom Bateman. He's in those mystery movies, the Death in the Nile and Murder on the Orient Express.
He's got a nice face too.
Yeah, nice chiseled jaw. He's got the eyes. So not too many movies, but I could feel like if an opportunity was there, I think he could play a pretty good Superman. Lois Lane would be played by Karen Gillan. It would be interesting to see how many Guardians of the Galaxy actors are going to be in the Superman movie now that James Gunn's involved.
True. Actually, yeah. His brother, obviously.
Lex Luthor will be played by Corey Stoll, which I think that's such a duh. Why not? He's already a douchebag. Especially he played one of the astronauts in that Apollo movie.
Apollo, yeah.
And then he plays MODOK, and then he played Yellow Jacket. So he has that really snarky, but he thinks he's smarter than everybody in the room kind of personality,
charisma. He's
so
sarcastic.
He would be a great as Lex. Plus, he's already balding, so why not?
No need for bald cap.
John Kent will be played by James Brolin. He's getting a little older.
He's getting a little older. He's still good looking. Easily could pass as Superman.
He can definitely monologue, so definitely what we need for Papa Kent. Martha Kent will be played by Kathy Bates of Misery. So,
and Mr. Deeds.
Yeah, sweet old little lady. I mean, come on, who wouldn't love that?
I was telling you, she has a very nice old lady voice.
Yeah. So that's our full cast. As far as the plot goes. So the plot is Superman, and again, this is basically like an origin story. I mean, Man of Steel was an origin story.
You gotta do it. James Gunn's gonna do it. There's no way James Gunn doesn't do some sort of origin.
Well, because we want people to know who Superman is and why he's important, and especially in the modern age, or just a good interpretation of what Superman is. Because his origins always make his stories who he is.
Yeah.
Because what is Superman? Superman is an alien from another planet who came to our planet and is a hero to a planet that it really isn't his, but to him, that's his home. So he's basically like an immigrant. He's taken, and that's kind of what Birthright kind of does. It kind of juggles all these ideas of who Superman is and what he's trying to look for. So Superman's trying to find himself, and he's this investigative journalist, and he's a freelance investigative journalist that wants to explore the world and kind of find himself. And, he saves people here and there as Superman, but people don't really know who he is because he doesn't have his glasses. Right. And he's saving all these people. He's basically like this mysterious man who's, freelance journalist, and he's super, but he's also helping people. But throughout his life, he's always been different. He's always felt like he's different, and people have always pushed him away. And so that's kind of the kind of person he is. He gets involved with the Daily Planet at some point. Lex Luthor gets involved, and basically he has to stop Lex Luthor from basically tarnishing the name of Superman, because now he's becoming the hero Superman, and Lex is trying to make everybody see him as this evil alien that's trying to destroy the Earth, and now people are hating him for it. So kind of like the Spider-Man effect of Sam Raimi's Spider-Man. So this is like the Sam Raimi Spider-Man of Superman. So yeah, good. Lex Luthor's the Green Goblin. So then eventually he overcomes all of this with the help of Lois Lane, his love interest, and he becomes the hero that he wants to be for Planet Earth. So that's our Superman plot summary. Let's get those cards from the studio deck. Prequel pinch. Your idea must also incorporate a prequel film.
A prequel to a prequel? A prequel to an origin story?
Well, I guess we could just make that Krypton.
Yeah. Ooh, that'd be sick,
right?
Dude.
Because it's
like the disaster in Krypton.
Yeah,
oh yeah.
Jor-El and his mom's name is trying to save the last son of Krypton and launches him out into space. Yep.
I love when they do shit like that. Like Superman's not even gonna be in the picture. It's all about Krypton. It's all about the planet and the demise of the planet.
How it's dying, why it's dying, the military coup of General Zod would be a later foe.
Why don't they do this ever?
Well, because that's what Man of Steel was. They just crammed Krypton in
the first 10, 20 minutes.
20, 30 minutes. So I was like, damn. So, and plus it's like so much of it is involving like who Superman is, and he's basically an alien.
Speaking of prequels, give us a fucking Cybertron movie.
That's the plug for another Cybertron movie. So yeah, that's kind of our prequel pitch. Your idea must also incorporate a prequel film. So that's the prequel film, is Krypton.
Makes sense.
So boom.
Krypton.
And it ends with them all dying.
What's it called?
But
Krypton?
let's just call it Krypton. Krypton, the Superman movie. That's probably what
Superman's not in it.
Well, that's what an executive would call it, because they're like, well, we got to put Superman in there, or people are going to get confused.
Nobody knows what Krypton is.
Right. Well, I guess then again, Gotham was just Gotham. It wasn't called Gotham, the Batman show.
I think enough people know
what Gotham City is.
And Krypton.
Well, okay, what city does Superman live in?
Gotham.
No.
Metro City.
No, that's Megamind. That's Metro Man.
Daily Planet City.
Fucking hell.
What was it? Metropolis.
Yes.
Yes.
You fucking idiot.
Dude, I was close. Metro City. Come on.
Okay, but that's our prequel. We're done with this. I don't want to go any further than that. Okay, so we're gonna start with the. Superman is a freelance investigative journalist. He goes to Africa. In the comic, he does go to Africa and he actually tries to stop a rebellion against two tribes that are fighting against each other. As
Clark Kent.
As Clark.
Okay.
They don't know, they don't know who the fuck Clark is.
Yeah.
It's interesting because in Batman versus Superman, why they kind of start in Africa. Guess where they took that shit from? So they literally scrapped pieces of those ideas and then peppered them into those movies.
That's pretty cool.
Man of Steel and Batman v Superman. So goes in, and then he goes to another place and does more investigative journalism, saving people, stuff like that. And then he's trying to find himself in the world. And he goes back to Ma and Pa Kent, and then he kind of has this argument with Pa Kent, because basically he has this tablet that is basically what his parents gave him, and he can't read the language because he doesn't remember, and being from Krypton, he speaks English, but he sees all this information, the data of what Krypton was, and their of his planet and basically his home world.
Yeah.
And he's starting to learn who he really is. And Pa Kent's kind of James Brolin's going to be like, well, you were born here, and it kind of makes me feel insecure, because it's like I took you away. It's like you got taken away from that, or blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, Dad, I want you to know that I'm just trying to find who I am, just like how you were trying to find yourself.
Yeah.
When you were in the army and all this other shit. So yeah, they're gonna have this father relationship, and then with his mother, he's gonna be that's where he kind of learned how to like hide himself. You know, like, oh, you got to wear your glasses, and because it like makes you look makes you look kind of normal and like hide within, you know, the crowd and all this stuff. And kind of they're both helping him out to become this person who he's like molding into be. We get flashbacks from like when he was a kid and how kids thought he was different because of how strong he was, and you know, those glimpses,
little glimpses of his power.
Yeah, interesting too is he also meets Lex Luthor as a kid in the comic book. So
that'd be a cool little movie scene too.
So that's how Lex Luthor gets bald, because he's trying to study to find life in other planets, and this explosion like burns his hair off permanently and he becomes bald. His dad dies, and so he inherits all the money from LexCorp. So he becomes.
So that's how he inherits it.
So I'm getting off track. So, but this is what Superman wants. He wants to know what it means to be a hero for a planet that is not his. And, you know, but he enters that unfamiliar situation where he must stop Lex Luthor from basically framing Superman, because now he has the costume now, and he's Superman.
And then Lex Luthor's doing the whole Jonah Jameson thing. Superman's bad.
Yeah. Oh, I own half the media, and I can like spin it to make it look like you're like. There's this one scene where he is trying to save, like he's holding a building, and Lex Luthor, he blows up columns of the building with bombs, so it looks like Superman is destroying the building or the bridge. So like he's gonna do all this shit, like, because he's super smart and he has all these resources to make Superman look like an evil alien destroying Earth, and then everybody starts hating him. He starts using
all the newspapers and shit.
He starts using kryptonite to weaken him during his fights and battles and saving people. And Superman starts to catch on, and this is where he enters the Daily Planet and meets Lois Lane, played by Karen Gillan. Kind of understands, you know, she's very headstrong. She's very like. She always is about the people, and that's why he starts falling in love with her. They have their little moment. So with the help of Lois Lane, he overcomes those obstacles. So he adapts to it, and eventually he defeats Lex Luthor. So when he defeats Lex Luthor, and this is the best part of the...
Can Lex Luthor have an exosuit?
Yes. All right. And he has this final battle with Lex Luthor. Boom, boom, boom.
Fucking kryptonite infused, fucking super suit or something, exosuit.
And what's cool is that the what do you call it? The kryptonite. Remember, this is from the planet. This is the remnants of planet Krypton, and it weakens Superman. So the reason why Lex wants to use this is so he can gather all the information of Krypton using, you know, the what do you call it? What the fuck's this called? Why did I just forget the
Kryptonite?
rock? Yeah, kryptonite. Krypton,
the rock.
There's so much fucking K shit, and it's like, damn.
Yeah, the kryptonite from Krypton.
From Krypton. Crypto the Superdog.
Crypto.
So, yeah, and so what happens during the battle, and we can kind of lead this is kind of like adding from the adaptation of the comic book. So
Birthright?
It breaks, Birthright. It breaks
the kryptonite?
Yeah, the kryptonite, and it creates some kind of kind of like a radio wave frequency. It like creates a huge frequency that basically brings it like kind of like not time travel, but like creates a frequency so huge that it goes back to the minutes before Krypton explodes. And Superman identifies this frequency because he's Kryptonian. And when he sees that frequency, he sees his mom and dad putting him into the space pod. So that frequency is intercepted into the maybe the Kryptonian TV screen or whatever, monitor or whatever the fuck. And literally they're about to put their son in the pod, and they're scared because they're like, oh, what if he forgets us and all this. And then Superman, now having saved the world or saved the planet, saved every city at least, saved the city and redeemed himself and knows who he is. He's Superman, and he says, mother, father, I did it. And he says that. And so, and they get to, and he doesn't know, but what he doesn't know is that he figured, the frequency was too late. He doesn't know if they got it or not. Like, damn, they didn't get it. But hey, at least I said it. And then what we could do for the prequel is that's the end of the movie.
Of
they do see the frequency.
And they're like, gonna make it or something.
Yeah,
like that.
they like, oh, that's our son,
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
they
yeah.
cry, and
Dude,
then the
that's
planet
sick.
explodes. Dun, 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 dun.
I don't think they've ever tied anything like that up before.
Yeah, and this is what pisses me off after watching like summaries and everything about the comic. I was like, man, this would have been a good Superman movie if they actually follow the adaptation. So defeats Lex, gets what they wanted, but pays a heavy price. The heavy price is, regardless of everything he does, Lex Luthor will walk free because he has a lot of money, he has lawyers, so charges are going to be dropped. So as much as he cleared Superman's name, he knows Lex is always going to be there.
Arch enemies.
His arch enemy. The origin of his arch enemy.
Beautiful arch enemy. Top 5. We should do that next. Top 5 superhero rivals.
Okay, that's a good one.
Coming soon.
So then so back to his familiar situation. Now he works for the Daily Planet as a full-on journalist.
Now does the city change his mind on Superman, or
yeah, they see him as a beacon of hope, and they do the whole thing. They do the whole thing with the S stands for hope in Krypton, and then it's actually S for Superman.
They always have this scene where he like descends down from the sky, and everyone's like, oh.
No, I don't want that. I want the dun, 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 dun. I want that Superman. I'm tired of serious Superman.
Yeah, honestly,
everyone's getting tired of that.
You're right.
We have Omni-Man and Homelander. We don't need this for Superman right now.
I hate the dark. It's starting to get old. The dark brooding.
The evil Superman. This is Superman's evil. He's a monster.
Like, Superman can smile.
Yeah,
he can laugh.
Brie Larson can smile. Superman can smile.
Fuck Captain Marvel.
So, and then, having changed, he now understands he is Superman, and he wants, he understands, he remembers where he came from. He remembers his roots, but he also knows who he is, having lived in Earth, and he is Superman. So, that's our Superman movie.
Who's going to be the villain for the sequel?
Probably General Zod. It's a good way to root back to the past.
Well, he's Superman. He's obviously OP, but I would love to see like the smaller villains. I hate when they do Doomsday.
Who's the guy with the kryptonite heart? I like him.
Oh yeah,
Metallo.
See,
he wouldn't be a main villain, but he could definitely be like a good side villain. Hell, we could even put him in here, honestly. Yeah, Metallo, kryptonite heart.
Lex created Metallo.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good one. Solomon Grundy.
More of a Batman villain.
Mr. Mixoplix.
Mixoplix. Yeah. He's kind of OP too. He's like an trans-dimensional being.
I think James Gunn wouldn't mind using him though.
Oh, you're right.
I could totally see him.
James Gunn loves silly ass characters like that.
He wouldn't be a mainstay. See, what would be a good who's the one that's like a leech? He can suck energy from.
I think his name's Leech.
The Leech?
I think his name's Leech. Or no,
you know what I'm talking about? He's like the purple gimp.
Yeah. I know who you're talking about. No, that's not. Leech is an X-Men mutant.
Man, I don't know Superman.
Bizarro, we haven't got.
Oh, Bizarro.
I mean, I think we got.
In the TV show, they introduced Bizarro. Man, they could finally bring back Steel somehow. Wouldn't that be cool? A movie version of Steel.
Terry Crews.
Shaq. They bring back Shaq.